And here we are again at late night with Quiche Lorraine. And who do I have tonight? Very special, classy dame, Monet Sinclair.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Want to get straight to the interview?
Yeah, let's go. Let's get it.
Okay, let us always start the way I always start. And where did you get your name?
I honestly made it up. I didn't know anything about houses, like the house of Sinclair, the house of Alexander, house of Davenport. I didn't know anything about that. But I decided I wanted a name that could grow with me. You know, I didn't want something that was going to be cute as a younger person, but then when I got older, it wasn't as cute. So I just thought I'll just say it was something classy, and it's done its job.
Well, you are classy.
Well, thank you.
But you could still learn a thing or two from me. Tell me about your look. How you came up with your look, your aesthetic.
So my aesthetic came from church, actually. I grew up Pentecostal, and I was raised by my mom and grandma. And every Sunday they would get up, they would put on their girdles, they would put on their nice outfits, their nice hair, nice jewelry, nice shoes.
Big old hats?
Big old hats. I love a good hat. And here I am, just a button-down pair of pants and some shoes, you know? So I was like, man, they just look so grand. I want to look grand, too.
I have always thought that men's clothes, so boring.
Right.
What do we go back to, like the founding fathers? They had ruffles and makeup and wigs.
High heels,
We'll bring that back.
There you go.
Yeah.
But give me a block heel. I like a block heel. I need some support.
We're bringing powdered wigs back to men's fashion.
There you go.
We'll open a store.
I'm here for it.
What do you think about the local drag scene? How things are now?
Well, when I moved here in 2013, it was certainly a lot more going on. The local drag scene, I feel like it's just stale. I feel like it's very stale. You have a lot of the same performers doing the same things on stage. However, some of those same people are telling the newcomers that they need to change it up. So I'm like, how are you going to tell somebody new to change it up when you're not doing it?
Right.
You know, we already know what you're going to do 2 seconds into your intro. We know what you're wearing. We know your choreography. But, you know.
Do you think after people have done it for a while, they just settle into a thing and they just do the same thing?
Yes, and that's because they have no competition. They have no threat of someone coming in and taking their spot. So I guess they feel they can just do what they want to do, how they want to do it, and nobody can touch them.
That was very insightful. You know what you are talking about.
I'm just going by what I see. So now let me say this too.
Okay.
Just because it is a lot of the same stuff doesn't mean that it's bad drag. Knoxville don't have bad drag. It's just the same. It's just repeat.
Oh, I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. And you said that very respectfully. You were not rude about it. And I completely understand what you're saying. Younger performers. Do you ever step in and give them advice, or do you have any? I don't know how I'm wording this. Do you ever help the youngsters?
When I have a chance to, I do. I don't want to overstep because I know someone being in their 20s, they probably want to go out here and do backflips and split every 8 counts, and that's fine because their body can handle it. But, you know, I'm about to open up that door to 40, and those days are gone, you know. So one thing that I do try to tell the younger performers is don't rely on the stunts, because one of these days your body's going to say no, and you have to really perform. And I feel like that's why a lot of the younger performers here, they're here for maybe a year or two, and when their bodies start saying no, or they realize drag is actually hard to do it good, they back out of it. And that's why it's such a revolving door with the younger performers.
Were you one of those youngsters who did the flips and the kicks and the splits?
I sure did.
Did you?
I sure did. And if the spirit moved me, I might do another split. But I've gotten older, I've gained a little weight, and my body don't respond to doing that the same as it did when I was younger and lighter.
Well, how did you, with your act and performance, how did you adapt?
So what I started doing was I just started finding more numbers. Like, I love 80s, 90s house. Like, that is my go-to. Early 2000s, that's okay. But my niche is 80s, 90s music. And I just had to find something where I could last longer in a show. And I knew going out there bucking for 4 numbers just wasn't going to do it anymore, because the girl getting tired, you know? And so now I just try to save that for a very special occasion. Like, if I know I have a high profile gig somewhere, I'm going to make sure I start stretching a month in advance so I can, do what I got to do on the stage.
I do the same thing. It's like, I'll choose my songs to not tire myself out.
One thing that my drag mother taught me, Anastasia Alexander, she said, pace yourself. Don't give people the whole meal at first. Give them the appetizer, the main course, dessert, then maybe a little mint afterwards,
Tell us a little more, if you don't mind, about Anastasia Alexander.
So, Anastasia, I remember, I felt like I remember her at the carousel, but when I moved here, I was only able to go to the carousel one time. Some time had passed. We just crossed paths, and she asked me if I was interested in joining her house, and I was like, okay, that's fine. We have a very different relationship. It's, instead of it being like mother-daughter, it's like we're like sisters. We both help each other out in various ways. It's not like she's just pouring all this knowledge into me, and I'm definitely not pouring all this knowledge into her, but we just piggyback off of each other.
Well, how much drag had you done before you all partnered up, became friends?
Yeah, so I've been doing drag since 2011, and I got started in Virginia, and then I didn't join Anastasia's house until I want to say 2022.
Oh,
I feel like it's in 2022. Yeah, so just a couple years ago.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, what do you think? Did she just see that you were a professional? She wanted to be in your circle. What do you think brought her to you, or you to her?
Well, what she told me was she said that she saw the professionalism. She saw that I wasn't just one of these queens that was just going to do it for a little bit and put my wigs away.
Are we ready to perform?
Sure.
Well, we will take a break, and you can go off, perform, and entertain all of us and dazzle us, and we'll continue this conversation in a wee bit. Feel about that performance?
I feel good about it.
Do you?
Feel good.
I'll tell you later what I think. Who is Monet outside of drag?
I wear a lot of hats, and I'm not talking about drag hats. I'm in the National Guard. I was active for 5 years, and the rest of that time, going December, it'll be 21 years. I played
in the National Guard?
In the National Guard.
Oh.
Yes, I played the clarinet.
Oh. I didn't know that. Well, I didn't know any of this.
Yeah. Since January, I've been working on a career change to being a pilot. I've always wanted to be a pilot. And when I was a child, there was a little airfield down the street from our house or whatnot, and I couldn't train there because they didn't allow black people to train. Now, we could cook over there, we could fix the planes and maintain the grounds, but we couldn't fly the planes.
Really?
Yeah.
That wasn't too long ago.
That was in the 90s.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have words for that.
Yeah. It's crazy.
What world are we living in? That makes no sense.
A screwed up world.
Yes.
But yeah, so aviation was just put in the back of my mind. And then last December, I was in Chicago, and I was eating some food, and I was like, it just hit me. It's like, I really want to be a pilot. And so I looked into how to do it and all that, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time and a lot of work.
Have you started?
Oh, yeah. I actually did my first solo flight about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, well, how long you been... I might have missed this. Mm-hmm. Did you say how long you've been learning?
Oh, I started looking into it in January. I didn't start flying and taking lessons until March.
Ah, where do you take your lessons? Where do you learn?
Downtown Island Airport.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. That's not something they would give you in the National Guard?
Okay, so with that, I'll have to change my MOS. I will have to change my job in the Army, and I'm not doing that.
Oh, okay.
I've been doing this for 21 years. I'm not going to change it up. And plus, I don't feel like the politics that goes along with extra training in the Army.
So what kind of piloting jobs would you get?
So as a private pilot, you can't be paid to fly. Now, let's say that I flew you somewhere. You could help me pay for the gas, but you couldn't pay me to fly you somewhere. The only way that you can get paid is if you are a commercial pilot, and you can fly, a private jet or what have you.
So you're saying you're going to give all of your friends free trips to exotic lands?
I will say this: the people who have been by my side from the beginning, I would not mind taking them anywhere. But the ones that just start to creep up when they see I'm start getting stuff, I'm like, bye. Be blessed.
Are you going to get your own plane or start your own little charter business?
I don't know. That's a lot.
Or would it just be your own little plane for you to travel in?
Possibly. Now, aviation maintenance is a lot more strict than regular car maintenance. Like if you need an oil change, you can probably drive it for another 4,000 miles. But with aviation, at your 100-hour inspection, you need to get that thing maintenanced because it's all going to go on the record for that plane. Everything you do in aviation, you can tie it back to the pilot.
Is that even if you're a private pilot and you don't?
Yeah. Everything is trackable.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, before we go to silliness, tell me if you have any achievements you would like to reach in the drag performance area, or do you feel I'm good? Do you have anything you still want to work for in drag?
Well, I've always been a big fan of Miss Continental. Last year, I was able to go to nationals. I placed 22nd out of 37, and I was
37 contestants.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, Continental was a lot of fun. It was a lot of learning, and I feel like I'm not the same performer or the same queen that I was when I went there.
You still think you still have much to learn, more to do? Yeah.
Most definitely. I'm not a person, drag queen or not. I'm not a person that thinks I know everything. I don't mind taking advice, even from a newbie. They can probably tell me something that can make my job a lot more easy, a lot more efficient. Because I learned how to do things when I learned them, but they might know an easier, faster way. But I do want to say my goal for Miss Continental is to at least make the top 12 nationally. And if I can do that, my next goal is to make the top 5.
Before we go, this season I'm giving all of my guests a gift.
Ooh.
From my heart to you.
Oh, wow. Can I open it now?
Yes, please.
Oh, boy, I'm excited. I can't wait
You were
see
going to
what's
be
in it.
so excited. I picked it out just for you. Show it to the camera. You can touch it.
What is this?
It's perfectly fine.
Is this? Ooh, I don't want to cuss.
Would you like me? It's a dried up potato that I found in the back of my refrigerator. But see, you plant that, and it is the gift that keeps on giving. Potatoes for life. You're welcome.
Quiche, you are definitely one of a kind, darling.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Did you have fun?
Yes.
Yes.
I had a wonderful.
I'm so glad you were here. Say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night, my babies. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I surely did. We'll see you next time. Ta-ta.